We're starting over on this side of the building, and we're going to take a walk around the building.
All right,
and as
sounds
we
good.
do that, I'd like you to point out some of the unique features of the building, and we'll also identify some of the features that weren't part of the original pumping station, but were added in 1928 when it was adaptively used as a community center and little theater, because this building has had its whole life after 1928 as a community center when it stopped serving as a waterworks.
That is amazing. I've run into a lot of buildings in Florida that have been adaptively reused over time, and not just recently. Churches that became banks, or banks that became churches, all sorts of things that are very interesting, all the way back 100 years ago. So to see your building over here, your waterworks from the 1890s, and to see that for 30 years it serviced the entire city of St. Augustine. And instead of demolishing it back then, people were very smart. They said, this is a value. It's well crafted, well done. The interiors are amazing with all the woodwork inside. Let's put it to reuse. And someone said, let's turn it into community center. So they added this small entry portico over here that you see from the 1920s. Again, that has now achieved its value over time, its period of significance, which I like because it extends that period from 1890s to say 1910. All the way to 1930 or thereabouts. You have a larger period of significance there.
Yeah, and that's an early adaptive use.
Very
Not
early.
we? I mean, 1928, I think Government House turned into a post office.
Yep. And 1930s
Too,
was really the first time that Government House was part of the national preservation movement, and St. Augustine was a leader in that too. I mean, imagine that, 80 years ago they were doing preservation and adaptive reuse in the city, so to see that even in the north end, this little building, people were, thoughtful about that, and they were able to reuse it and add the entry feature. That's just a really nice thing about the building.
Great, all right.